Hi Cornerstone family. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how our current state of the stay-at-home order has affected the Abraham household and how has it affected our daily life. And I'm actually really happy to report that it hasn't really affected our life all that much. Life is normal for the most part. Adam works from home primarily anyways. So he's working from home, which is normal. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm home all day normally with my kids. The only little change that has happened is Miles is now home from school, but he only went to school 2 days a week, so now he's just home. I homeschooled part-time before, so now we're just homeschooling full-time. So a little bit of a transition there. But I was prepared to homeschool. I have curriculum. I've been homeschooling, so it wasn't a shock to my system. I know a lot of you out there, it was a very quick decision that your kids were going to be home and you were thrust into homeschooling and you had no plan and no desire to ever homeschool. So I just wanted to give you guys some encouragement to know that what a classroom looks like at school is not what homeschooling looks like at home. It is so different. And also, if you talk to 10 different homeschooling families, you're going to get 10 different pictures of what homeschooling looks like for them. That is the beauty of homeschooling. There's no cookie cutter. I was homeschooled my entire life, K through 12. Adam was also homeschooled his entire life, and just two individuals, we have very, very different homeschooling experiences. So please know this is an encouragement to you that whatever you're doing to encourage your kids to learn is enough. Like, my entire science career of homeschooling was feeding baby lambs, looking at a placenta, digging in the garden, whatever my mom would make up. That was my science for the year. I had a very unconventional education, I guess you would call it. I never had any standardized testing. I never wrote papers. It was very interesting. But I graduated high school. I have a college degree. Adam's homeschooling experience was a little bit more traditional with a correspondence course. But he also went to college, graduated from college. So even though we have very different pictures of what our high school and elementary education looks like, there's no cookie cutter mold. And also too, something that's very difficult for homeschooling families right now, if you're homeschooling, this is not what normal homeschooling looks like, being at home all the time. Homeschooling is field trips, museums, libraries, meeting with friends. So if you're thinking, how can anyone homeschool full time? This is terrible. Please know that most homeschooling experience is not like that. So again, I wanted to encourage you who are homeschooling right now, everything that you're doing is enough. And even if you do nothing except read a book or go outside and talk about trees, that is enough. Specifically elementary age, they're learning just by doing. And if you have middle school or older, you don't actually have to sit down with them and teach them. They know how to read. They can be doing work independently for themselves. Something that I remember from homeschooling that my mom always said over and over again was homeschooling is teaching your child to teach themselves. So if you're thinking that homeschooling parents are waking up every single morning at 8 o'clock in the morning and starting school at 9 a.m. on the dot with a Pledge of Allegiance, a devotional, songs, and we sit and do school for 4 hours a day, we're not. That is not at all what our school day looks like. When we first got the order that Miles School was not going to be returning for the remainder of the year, I have to say that it was not my best week. That was probably the worst week that I had in terms of everything that was going on. There was just constant changing. Just when they would tell us one thing and I'd wrap my head around, okay, homeschooling full time for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no big deal. We'll power through and then can't wait to send the kids back. But the constant changing and re-changing of what our life was going to look like, it was hard. It was really hard because there was no way to look to the future because of the unknown. So the week that we found out that Miles was not going to be returning to school, we didn't do any school. Nothing. Zero. I tried a few times and it just wasn't going to happen, so I stopped. And now looking back on it, I know that that week I was really sad, and I was grieving. I was grieving the loss of what I thought our school year was going to look like. I was grieving the loss of those 2 days that Miles went to school, and I didn't have to worry about homeschooling. It was kind of like my day off. I was also grieving the loss for Miles because he had to miss his birthday and so many other things that he loves school. But once I took some time to really reevaluate what our school situation was going to look like, that's clear over there, and change my perspective to, oh my gosh, I have to homeschool full time, this is going to be terrible, to this is a gift. Like, I get to have my kids home with me. Now, every day I am not that positive about my kids being home with me. But for the most part, I choose a mindset every morning of gratitude for this period of time. We don't feel restricted. We don't feel like we are forced to stay home. We can leave. We are free to walk out our front door, go for a walk, go for a hike. Within reason, there are certain things we can and cannot do, but we don't focus on what we can do. We at the Abraham household are thinking about what we can do. My boys are outside all day, mostly every day, other than small periods that we do school. They have gone fishing with Adam. Because there is no school right now, there is no getting up super early, so we have been a little bit more flexible with their bedtimes. Like right now, it is bedtime. Normally, they're downstairs watching a movie. We've done family movie nights. My boys have been very excited that I've been a lot more flexible with food that we eat. Normally during the week, unless there's like a big special occasion, we're not doing desserts. We normally stay dairy-free, but we have been doing homemade pizzas. We've been doing ice cream and root beer floats, and we have made, actually when COVID-19 stay-at-home order first started, one of the first things that we ordered off of Amazon was a popcorn maker, the Whirly Pop, and we have been busting out large amounts of kettle corn. So those are the things that have been fun things that we've been doing as a family during this time. So I just wanted to encourage you guys that there's always something to be grateful for, something to look for during your day that you can be grateful for. And when you focus on those things rather than on the things that maybe aren't so pleasant right now, it can really change your whole day. Specifically, if you are not used to having your kids home with you full time or any amount of time, you don't have to be a full-time activities director. You don't have to be responsible for them not being bored all waking hours. Kids are not going to die of boredom. Creativity happens when kids are bored. My kids know that if they say they're bored or have nothing to do, they're going to do massive amounts of chores. So they never come to me and say they're bored. We send them outside. One of my tricks, my little mom hacks is when I need some quiet time away from my kids and I know they need to be away from me and I can't seem to get them to go outside and be engaged in anything, is I will go and make snack bags for them, or maybe I'll go and grab like a sleeve of crackers or something and I will give it to them and say, you can have this as long as you go outside and don't come back in. My boys who eat like 16,000 times in a day, food is very motivating to them. So they will take that food and they will go outside and I will not see them for a certain period of time. And if you guys didn't know this about me, I am very introverted. I need a lot of quiet time and rest time and time away from people. And when you have young children, that is not necessarily something that is easy. So I need those times away from my kids and let my kids go outside. But also being slightly introverted, I might have a happier or better perspective about the stay-at-home order because I enjoy being home. I did think that I was gonna have a ton more time to bake bread and make cookies and deep clean the floors. I haven't necessarily found any extra time, but I have enjoyed that even on the weekends, there's no rush. It's not a, when is the next weekend we have free? We're free every weekend. We have very much missed Sunday morning church, getting together with friends. I didn't realize how much that was a part of our week and how much those were highlights of our week. And that was probably more of a perspective thing for me. I used to think of a lot of social engagements were just very draining for me or exhausting or whatnot. But now, something that the stay-at-home order and this current state of our life has really taught me how much I enjoy the times where I'm social and how much it does actually fill me up, even though I'm still tired when I come home, and how important it is. I'm very thankful. Every morning I wake up and I say, I am very thankful that we are experiencing the stay-at-home order in the middle of spring. We can be outside. The sun is shining. And those are the things that I always focus on every single day. I get to go outside. I get to enjoy the sunshine. It is my choice to stay at home. No one is forcing me to. So again, if you just choose a perspective to focus on the good rather than the things that maybe not be so fun, it can really make a difference on your day. And also too, very much with being a stay-at-home mom, I choose to keep my expectations lower with what I'm going to accomplish during the day. If I set myself up for thinking that I'm going to accomplish all these things today, and I can't get to them, that really upsets me. So I remember that every day, I'll just think of like one focused chore, and the rest of the time I just fit in what I can fit in. And I really try to tell myself that any amount of time that I spend with my kids is what they're gonna remember. They're not gonna remember that the world was shut down or that they couldn't go and do things. They're gonna remember how I reacted to it all. And to be honest, at this point, our kids have no idea what's really going on. They understand that there's corona out there and that things are canceled because people aren't supposed to share their germs. They don't think it's a bad thing. They aren't upset about it. They don't realize the impact it's having on our world. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that they are young and protected, and every day is just very carefree for them.